Good day everyone and welcome to the Sydney Property Muppets podcast. My name is Kurt Lawfer and always and forever is...
Chris Clark, buyer's agent.
With me, Chris Clark.
I love it.
Chris.
So much energy.
The topic for today. We've done a couple of long ones, so we want to make this a bit of a shorter one, but still jam-pack it with lots of tacos, minced meat, I don't know, lasagna. Hit us away. What's our topic today?
Some cheese in there somewhere. Day in the life of an auction.
Perfect.
Seller's version.
Seller's version.
So what we're talking about is an auction day and what happens on an auction, but from a seller's perspective, the do's and don'ts, I guess, overall. So I'm going to hit you up pretty fast.
Yeah.
All right. When and how does a vendor who's selling the property determine the reserve price?
When the agent brings it up to them.
This is mysteries. When's that? Is that the day of?
So, quick two scenarios. Firstly, there's this thing called timed auctions, which is basically online auctions now, which is starting to become a bit more popular. They need to be decided the moment it's uploaded on...
Once the auction goes live,
Once
right?
the auction goes live, they need to already have decided.
But no one can see that.
Yes, no one can see that. All you see is the potential, if you register, is the starting bid, the minimum bid increments.
Okay, yep.
If
If it ticks over, I know I'm jumping forth here, but if it ticks over the reserve, does it automatically go, it's now above reserve for the buyers?
I believe it does say
right.
we're on the market.
Okay.
I believe, I could be wrong about that, but I believe.
Okay,
However,
that's one online.
yeah.
What else we got?
We've got, and we'll just stick with on-site auctions. We'll just make it nice and simple. On-site auctions, they're generally decided either 2 days, the day before, or if the market's changing or the vendor or an agent can't quite agree, sometimes the day of.
Yep.
I try and go 2 days out, so then we've got time, we know where we're at. We also know as an agent if the reserve is a bit unrealistic.
Yep.
We still got time to try and educate the vendor. We still also have time to then go back to the buyers to see where
Feel it
through. Now, a big thing about the reserve price, however,
Go on.
that can change at any time.
What do you mean? Isn't it? So it can change during the auction?
It can change.
Can go down during the auction. Can it go up during the auction?
It can go up in the auction.
Right. Okay, fun fact.
So it can go up in the auction.
It's going to be written though, wouldn't it? Can't be verbally or...
So it does need to be written.
Yeah.
However, just saying the auction, the vendor's like, either way, more so going up, generally then would get a text, get an email, get some form of writing, because everything is governed by you needing to see it. Compliance, yes.
Which is fair.
So that's sort of how it goes, then the auction takes place. The auctioneer starts his spiel. For most buyers, once the auctioneer has finished got to go through the spiel of the property, and then the main one is the contract. They've got to go through that.
Yeah.
Then you go away and you start firing your shots, buyers.
Yep. We see where we land.
See where we land. Yes, see where we land.
I've had a scenario before where, particularly this company, I think with apartments, where on the morning of an auction, let's say the auctions for, I think this one I had was at 11 o'clock, there was a comparable, not direct, probably slightly superior property sold at 9 o'clock at auction for a price that was, let's say about 15-20% above where we saw. There was murmurs as we went to the next auction that the vendor had therefore increased their expectation on their reserve. And lo and behold, during the auction, it actually got passed in. Now, it did get finalised, a deal to get transacted, but I would say, I feel, I don't know what you're going to say, but I feel as buyers, it sounds silly, but once we hear it's on the market, not a buyer's agent, but a typical buyer, they are much more likely, I believe, to throw out their number when they know it's on the market versus before that stage. It's one of those little tips, right? And things, you've got to try and find the sweet spot because you want to sell for the most price, so you don't put in reserve too early and get an inferior price, but equally, there might be some buyers out there, for whatever reason, actually don't want to jump in until they've heard the words in auctioneer, we are now on the market, we've hit reserve.
Is there a question, like sort of a formula?
Oh no, it's more just a point of contention there. Like it's just interesting to see how it also transpires overall. When you've got sellers though at the property, I'm assuming that property, who do you want in that room for you agents to go back and forth and talk to you?
I want the people making the decision. I don't particularly want any. I want family and friends and all that to be supportive downstairs at the auction, make a lot of crowd. We want it to feel like there's lots of people there. Because both buyers also don't know who is out there.
Correct. I don't know who's a bidder and who's not.
Who. Now, not fake bidding. I detest that, and I would actually.
I think the term's dummy bidding.
Dummy bidding. I would stop my auction and restart the process.
Yeah.
However, just having people there as a buyer, the buyer's agent's a little different because you can generally sometimes tell who's
we
there.
ask the questions and see. Yeah, that's okay.
I kind of forgot where I was going there.
Well, with the sellers, you only want the husband and wife or the people who are making the critical decisions.
Who's signing the contract, basically. And maybe if it's a young family, they do, and the dad or parent or the mum has, or whoever's guiding them as well, if the agent feels comfortable, that's going to be productive.
Yeah.
Or
what about the dreaded D, the divorce? They typically, they both own the property. Are they in separate rooms typically? Come on, be honest.
No, I'd want them in the same.
Do they get in the same room? Geez, that must be tough.
I don't actually think I've had one yet.
Oh wow! You're on the dreaded D's yet? Okay, that's fun.
I haven't had the dreaded D.
I definitely had that on the other side. I try and negotiate after an auction with a divorced couple, and they're each in separate rooms. So the agent's going from her to him, back to her, back to me, back to him, back to her. Wow. What about executives? Have you ever had like somebody's passed away and there's multiple executives? Because I'd say that's also tense.
Generally, when there's more than one party, we've actually decided to go to auction because let's decide what the market says on the day. And generally, we're pretty set. We still try and be set with where we're selling. We try and make it reasonable. Look, if you can get this is brilliant. It's in line with where the market's at. We're not underselling the property, getting a great result, and we work out the reserve price.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's
nice. Yes. Any other horror stories from, or any tips or tricks you'd say for a seller on the day of the auction they should definitely do or not do?
Or not do? I probably, in terms of maybe hope and expectation, in terms of getting frustrated at agents or where a property ends up selling at. Sometimes what you've got to realise is an agent has spoken to the vendors and said, look, the comparables are saying this property is around 2.5. We could get 2.6, 2.7, that'd be an amazing result. But the comparables are showing here, guiding around here as well. Yep. However, the vendors still might be like, we want to use you, but we still not going to sell unless we're at $3 million.
Yeah.
And so they set the reserve up there. And in some cases, people love the property so much that they just keep bidding, and it goes over. And other times, it doesn't. So I think understand that at the end of the day, the agent can guide where the comparables are showing. Sometimes some agents are guide a bit lower. However, at the end of the day, it's still the vendor that's
makes the call.
And you're also competing with the vendor. So just say your highest bid is 2.7 and their reserve is 3 million. They're actually the top bid. So if it passes in, they kind of buy the property again.
Yeah, I get
They're not physically purchasing the property again, but you're not just competing by yourself if you're the only one there.
No, I get it.
You are competing against the vendor.
Yeah. Well, I think for a topic for tonight, I'd love that just come to me now is let's discuss buying or selling a property pre-auction. I think that's got some real meat in the bones about the finesse of that. So, all right, that's it for today though. 3 quick questions, and I said I'd like you to go first today.
What signs?
Got a surprise for question 6.
Lovely. What signs are you looking for in a nervous agent vendor to know you could potentially snag a cheaper price or a bargain at an auction?
Out of who?
Both, either the vendor or agent. What signs are you looking in them?
Probably is there multiple times checking in on me prior to the auction starting? Right, if they're coming over, we'll keep the shoulders up. If they come over, if the agent comes over a series of time before the auction, that always tells me that I'm probably the one that they're betting to bring this home.
Yeah. Oh, over to you personally.
Yeah, they're coming to me on the buyer's agent or on the buyer, and they're coming to check me not once, twice, thrice before the auction starts. That's a bit unusual for them to come out that many times. Tells me they think I've got the biggest wallet. Buyers on the phone. They're going to make an offer. They can't be there in the person. They've got to speak to you over the phone. Do you love that or hate that? Go and choose love or hate.
Hate.
Oh, nice. Got him. Yes. Love it. He's not all nice, guys. He's not all nice.
With Aussie Day coming up, Australia Day, are you buying property or are you sinking one back on a BBQ day?
On the Australia itself, I'm buying property.
Buying property.
Can't stop me.
Yeah, I can't stop. Yeah, I like that answer. I like that. I was wondering what I was going to get.
That's some passion. Have you ever had an auction with no buyers or no bidders at all?
Yep.
Yep, good. That's it. That's all that to me.
One very recently.
Fifth question for me.
How do you rate your go-kart skills on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of speed, awareness, racing craft?
He's a funny guy. 7th. Because that's where I came in the recent combat. Okay, lastly, hold your fire there. And I did have something prepared for the great man, as a little gift, start of the new year. We have the Sydney Property Muppets t-shirt on the back and a little QR code to find the us on Spotify as well, my friend. So I thought I'd give you a little gift to start the year.
Mate, that is genuinely, I don't know if you guys can tell, I have no idea
Didn't know
about
that was coming. I've got one for me as well. There's a medium. I figured you're a medium.
Do you know what? I'm probably a large.
I've got the large. I'm not going to swap that. We'll work it out. Otherwise, bit of fun there. Enjoy your week. Thank you for stopping by. As I always say, our advice is very much general in nature. So do speak to professionals out there, like Kurt and so forth, when you're making your decisions such as these.
Yeah, other than that, this is the Sydney Property Muppets podcast. We love having you guys. Thank you for listening. Download, share. Even just one person would make a world of difference.
Oh, well done. Nice touch. I like that.
Thank you. And also, last thing, thank you, Chris, for making a coffee or hot chocolate every time we have a podcast.
Always a pleasure, my friend.
Have a good week, guys.
Well, that's